MIDIXO is kind of a Swiss Army knife for TRS MIDI. In another video, I showed the module in action. This video is more of a too long, didn't read video version of the manual. So I'll show you the different ways of using the module and how to configure it. The first way to use the module is as a standalone TRS MIDI A to B converter. For this mode, you need the jumpers on and you don't need the ribbon cable. Basically, you feed some MIDI data to the module through the input jack at the top and it comes out the output jack at the bottom. The position of the switches in relationship to each other determines whether it's converting or not. So if they're in the same position, it's just a straight MIDI pass-through. And if they're in opposite positions, it's converting. So it's switching the polarity between MIDI A and MIDI B as it goes from top to bottom. The second way to use the module is as a TRS MIDI breakout for some expert sleepers modules. For this mode, you remove the jumpers and you use the ribbon cable that's included to connect to either General CV or FH2 or DISTING Mark IV. So any MIDI input that you feed to MIDIXO goes directly to the expert sleepers module, and any MIDI data that comes out of that module goes through MIDIXO's output jack. So in this mode, the switches don't have a relationship to each other. The top switch affects the input jack, so you can switch between A and B, and the bottom switch affects the output jack. Same thing, switching between A and B. A kind of bonus feature that just takes advantage of some smart design on the part of expert sleepers is if you're connecting this to a DISTING Mark IV, then you can go into DISTING settings, turn on soft MIDI through, and effectively it can do everything that I've described so far without having to change the jumpers or the cable. So when you're using a DISTING algorithm that deals with MIDI, it works as I just described in mode 2. And if you're using any DISTING algorithm that doesn't deal with MIDI, then it works as if the ribbon cable wasn't connected. It goes back to being a standalone converter between MIDI A and MIDI B. And a final way to use the module is as a TRS MIDI to 5-pin DIN converter. That works with the Expert Sleepers MIDI Breakout. If you pair the two of these modules using the ribbon cable, again, no jumpers on MIDIXO, you effectively have an adapter that goes between TRS and the DIN connector. So plug a MIDI cable into the DIN connector, plug a TRS cable into the jack beside it, and you have a converter that allows you to switch polarity just like in the other modes. On the bottom half, you have the exact same thing that's totally independent. You can convert again between TRS MIDI and 5-pin DIN and switch the polarity however you want it. That's it. Get in touch if you have any questions, and thanks.